It is time to start talking about James Cleverly as a future leader of the Conservative Party and possible Prime Minister. When James Cleverly was made Foreign Secretary by Liz Truss, there were a lot of eye-rolling emojis and disparaging comments from the Twitterati of social media and metropolitan types who saw it as a sign of the Tories scraping the barrel of talent. But roll on 6 months of confidently bestriding the world stage, and the Cleverly surname is no longer deemed an oxymoron or preceded by not so. Instead, he is being talked of as a potential next leader. When he was asked directly this week whether he wanted to become Conservative leader, Mr. Cleverly gave the classic politician's answer about loving his current job. There was the usual expression of loyalty to the current leader. Rishi is doing a fantastic job. He stepped in at a really difficult time. He's massively steadied the ship. He's focused on the things which are going to win us the next election. However, he noticeably did not rule out running even though his aides were insisting he is not interested in the job. After all, Cleverly made a 2-day bid in 2019, quickly pulling out to support Boris Johnson, who would win, but it was a marker for where he wants his career to go. It is fair to say that he is more focused on helping the current leader win the next general election, in which case there would not be a vacancy. And whether it was Boris Johnson, Liz Truss or now Rishi Thannk, Cleverly has always remained ultra-loyal. But with the continued uncomfortable polling for the Tories, his name is now at the top of many people's list as a replacement for Rishi Thannk should he go after a general election defeat next year. Accompanying the Foreign Secretary at the G7 summit in Karuizawa in Japan, it is easy to see why his stock has risen so much and so quickly in just 6 months. For starters, his officials at the Foreign Commonwealth and Development Office, FCDO, very clearly have inner. Rather, it is because he is clear in his thinking and direction, listens to advice and understands the complexities and subtleties of foreign policy in a way many people who did not know him well would not have expected. Several officials talked about how the atmosphere of the department is a happy place under his leadership, reflecting a convivial personality. It was obvious people like working for him a lot and warm to him. It is perhaps an underrated part of leadership. Then there is the way he has literally charmed his counterparts. France's Foreign Minister Catherine Colonna infamously was understood to have strongly disliked both Boris Johnson and Liz Truss when they were Foreign Secretary. But it was impossible not to notice the chemistry between her and Cleverly in Japan, chatting and laughing. Charm has always been a strong Cleverly suit, and he has deployed it with ruthless effectiveness over recent months. A number of officials also mentioned the rapport he has with Germany's Foreign Minister Annalena Baerbock, who in many ways has become an ally behind the scenes even though she is a Green. It perhaps helps that Cleverly was a Brexiteer but understands that European leaders felt personally hurt and slighted by the UK's EU exit. He has an empathy, again another important leadership quality, which has helped break down barriers. While Rishi Thannk did the big press conferences at the end with the Windsor Framework on Northern Ireland and First Summit with the French in years, it was the work done by Cleverly in the run-up to those key events this year which paved the way for success. Neither could have been achieved without him, and his role should not be underestimated. In that sense, he has helped European leaders turn a page on Brexit and move on. But perhaps his most important achievement is maintaining a strong relationship with the US in strained times. He and US Secretary of State Antony Blinken, or Tony as Cleverly calls him, has become